تصویر. ایک بہت سے بلند تر صلوات. بس سلام کے چند اشعار. ایک اور باز بلند تر صلوات. اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دن نہ تھے. ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. رکتا نہیں ہے سینے سے جو خون ہے رواں. اے لال یہ بتا دو کہ کس جا لگی سنا. اپنی ریاضتوں کا خزینہ تو دیکھ لوں. اکبر ہٹاؤ ہاتھ میں سینہ تو دیکھ لوں. اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دن نہ تھے. ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. تم کیا گرے ہو مقتل میں اٹھ نہ سکا حسین. تم کو سنا لگی ہے اور زخمی ہوا حسین. آنکھیں جو تم چراتے ہو دل چھوڑتے ہیں ہم. تم ہچکیاں جو لیتے ہو دم توڑتے ہیں ہم. اپنے لہو میں آپ سنورنے کے دن نہ تھے. ہائے اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. اکبر جوان ابھی تیرے مرنے کے دن نہ تھے. ایک بہت سے بلند تر صلوات. Just a couple of reminders and announcements before I invite Dr. Shaeba Rizvi to the minbar. Firstly, I humbly ask everyone to come forward and make space for the mu'mineen who are going to be arriving late. So can I have one loud salawat as you all come forward? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa alayhi. As you're all aware, this center runs on the community support, and so I implore you all to donate and sponsor programs such as our Majlis throughout Muharram and Safar if you are able to. If you would like to donate, we have a debit machine on the men's side, so don't hesitate to ask. And for those of you who donated and continue to do so, Jazakallah for your efforts, and may Allah reward you. If you would like to sponsor an English Majlis, you can speak to the volunteers after the Majlis, such as myself, Annie Auntie, or Abid Uncle. And also, if you would like to recite or be part of the English Majlis, feel free to talk to me, Abid Uncle, or even Annie Auntie for that regards. Concluding announcement, please rise as I request Dr. Shaeba Rizvi to come forward to the member. Boazib Lantar Salawat.
So sorry. Yeah, it was ठीक है थोड़ा सा नीचे कर लें बस इसको यहाँ से थोड़ा सा नीचे ये बस ठीक है थैंक यू أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله على ما أنعم وله الشكر على ما ألهم والثناء بما قدم من عموم نعمة ابتداها وسبوغ لن نزداها وتمام منن أولاها ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خير المبشرين والمنذرين شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dearest brothers, sisters, Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, my elders, my youngers, it is my honor once again to look upon the faces of the lovers of the Ahlulbait, the followers of Imam Zamana, the Azadar of Imam Hussein, the worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and continue our very important discussion in these very important days, which is about Vilayat al-Takwini. Takwini, we said, means to be, so this is the vilayat of being. Vilayat is guardianship, protectorship, it is control, it is authority, it is being able to help, protect, change, modify, manipulate, control, and this is all for what is. In other words, everything that is controlled by Vilayat al-Takwini. Are you? Are you? That means, do you exist? Do you be? Do you say, I am? When you say, I am, that means that you exist. Because if you don't exist, you cannot say, I am. So everything that exists has come from non-existence. That means there was a time when we didn't exist. And then we came to exist. So when we came to exist, our time began. But there was something before existence. So what is existence? And how do we define it? And what are the categories of existence? One existence, I mean, you have an existence on your cell phone. When you open up your cell phone, you can see that there is the Quran written on your cell phone. And this Quran written on your cell phone is there, but does it exist on your cell phone? What is the reality of the ayah that you are seeing on a screen? Is there any difference between what you are seeing on your cell phone screen or what you are seeing in a book? There's a book in front of you, you call it the Quran, and now the letters are over there. They are written on paper, so it is something material that you are holding. But your cell phone was showing you pictures on Facebook a moment ago, and now it's showing you the Quran. You will say that this is a reflection of the pixels on my screen that is controlled by the kilobytes of information. So that information becomes Quran. That means your cell phone has ilm, it has a certain knowledge, and it can manifest that. So does knowledge exist? Is existence based on atoms and molecules? Is it based on what you can see? In this room, are there things that exist that you cannot see? Would you say there are things you cannot see? Anything at all here? You would say that, you would say that. And you would say yes, when you look at examples of what it is, you might say, well, there's waves in this room that I cannot see. You might say that there's bacteria floating in this room that I cannot see. There's dust particles. So there's many things that are not within your sight. Are there things in this room that you cannot hear, but they are present? Yes, they are present. So that tells you that there is an existence beyond sight and sound. And this existence beyond sight and sound, you cannot touch them. I cannot touch the air. I cannot see the air. If it does not move, I cannot feel the air. But you always say it exists, because if it didn't exist, then how would you be living right now? So this tells you that there is a metaphysical existence. Now, did metaphysical come first or physical? In other words, those things that are before physical, above physical, outside of physical, was that first or this? So is Allah physical or metaphysical? If we say Allah is, what do you think? A or B? Allah is physical, Allah is metaphysical. Can you see Him? Can you hear Him? Can you touch Him? No. If you can't see, hear, and touch Him, He can't be physical. The physical realm is what you can see, hear, and touch. This means that it's possible that He is everywhere, and we know Allah is everywhere, but we don't see Him, hear Him, touch Him. But He is first before physical. That tells you metaphysical is more real than physical. Metaphysical is more powerful than physical. Inside your universe, because inside you is a universe. Would you agree there's a universe inside of you? Do you feel like there is a universe inside of you? There's a universe outside of you. What is the universe inside of you? Amirul Mu'mineen as-salatu was-salamu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Says a few lines, and as usual, every line Amirul Mu'mineen says is beautiful, and he says that you should know that for you, O human being, there are two universes. One is the inner universe, one is the outer universe. And this inner universe is greater, and the outer universe is smaller. He called this Kainat al-Akbar, and he called this universe Kainat al-Asghar. He says, within you is the great universe. There is much within you. And then he says that you and your inner universe is like a book in which each word manifests the hidden. इंसान के अंदर वो किताब है, I don't know if it's coming across in English or not, जो गैब, जिस उस किताब का हर लफ्ज गैब को ज़हूर देता है. That means that you manifest the hidden that is within you. You know what ghaib is? Ghaib is, I know it's getting heavy, but I had warned you from the beginning that this discussion will not just be at kindergarten level. It will be about high school level. So that's why there might be some things you can ask me later. There might be some things you will ask your parents later. But the purpose was to have it in English, and the purpose was for children to, even if they don't understand completely, to realize that there is so much to learn, so much to understand, that motivates you. When I am a child and I'm sitting in Nishtar Park in Karachi, and Allama Talib Johari alayhi rahma is reciting Majlis in Urdu, and I don't understand 90% of what he's saying, then what I am thinking is that, well, I would like to know what he's saying. So then I ask questions on the way back. As we go home, I question after question from my parents, my mamus, my chachas, khalas, and everybody I can find. Ask questions. What did this mean? What did that mean? So that what that does is that brings up our intellectual capacity and our ability to understand. So therefore, within you is what is manifesting that which is hidden. And this means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not something to be understood, but you can feel Him in your qalb, because your qalb, your heart, is able to manifest the metaphysical. Within your inner universe is physical and metaphysical. That means that within you, you have both. What is physical in your body? What is metaphysical in your body? Physical is your muscles, your bones, your brain, your kidneys, your liver, your stomach, your intestines, your glands, your hair, your teeth, your nails. All of these are physical. What about your nafs? Do you think your nafs is physical? No, you won't see it on x-ray, will you? You won't go to the doctor and they'll say, oh, I notice your nafs is a little bit inflamed today. You have some nafsitis. We have nafs syndrome. No, your nafsul lawama, not seen. Nafsul amara, not seen. You know who your nafsul lawama is? It is a metaphysical voice within you that is always telling you to do good. And nafsul amara is the voice within you that is always telling you to do bad. What about your ruh? You have a ruh? Ruh is your spirit. Do you think that is physical? No, you're not going to see that on CT. Even if you do MRI, it's not going to show up, nor in any blood test. Metaphysical. Do you see that you are a combination of physical and metaphysical? You are muscles and bones, but you are also nafs, and you are ruh, and you are qalb, and you are aql. Do you think your aql is physical? No, your aql is not physical. Your intellect cannot be seen. We will not see it on any anatomy dissection. You cannot open up a body and say, oh, here's the aql, I found it, the intellect. Let me take it with me and take it home. That's not going to happen. That tells you that you are a combination of physical and metaphysical. Let's take a look at another example of physical and metaphysical. Today, you are sitting here. And as you're sitting here, you are using your muscles to sit here, right? Right now you are sitting, you can move your hands, you can move your head and your eyes. How are you doing this? You will say this is a physical movement. You are doing this physical movement with energy. If you don't have energy, you cannot move. Do you agree? If you don't have energy, you can't move. How did you get your energy? Probably you ate something. You had breakfast, right? Maybe some aloo parathe, some kind of tinde shaljam. You had some energy. You had some roti, or you had some Western stuff, some pasta and pizza. So when you ate that energy, that food gave you energy. So that means the energy was actually in the food in your plate. And what happens is that energy now is transformed into you. That energy in that food is chemical. That means it's physical. It's not metaphysical. It's chemical. And chemical is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. This is energy that you can measure in a lab. So it's physical. Now this food has energy. When I eat this food, what happens? That energy goes into my cells. That means the energy goes to the muscles so I can move. Does that make sense? That you eat food for energy and energy is transferred. Have any of you studied chemistry in school? Maybe some ATP. Have you heard of ATP before? Anybody heard of the letters ATP? No? You haven't studied someone? Okay, there we go. Okay, a little bit. But that means that most of you will get to that stage where you'll study biology and you'll study, it's an energy molecule. The food has energy. Let me give you another example. All of you know what a cell phone is. We might not know what ATP is, but we know what a cell phone is, right? There's no human being who doesn't know what a cell phone is. Your cell phone battery is dead. What do? Charge it. When you charge it, why does your phone get charged? Because you're putting electricity in. Where is that energy coming from? It's coming from a power station. The power station of your Ontario is called the Ontario Nuclear Power Plant. It creates energy. It sends energy through wires to all of the outlets in all of the rooms in all of the homes and all of the buildings in all of the cities of Ontario. So now what you have is that electrical socket there that has energy coming into it. Where is it coming from? The power station. When you plug in your charger and you plug that into your phone, now energy is transferred to your phone. Your phone goes back to 100% and now it is fully energized. Do you see how energy moved from the power plant through the wires into your phone? Does that make sense? We don't have to be electrical engineers or physicists for this, but we want to understand a little bit about the transfer of energy. It is moving. In the same way, their energy is always transferred. We don't create energy. We don't create it. We're not capable of creating it. What we do is we transfer it. So how did the nuclear power plant make energy? It made energy through nuclear power. But Where did the nuclear energy come from in the nuclear power plant? That's the next question. I know my phone gets it from the socket, which gets it from the wire cable, which gets it from the power plant. Where does the power plant get energy from? Same question here. You have a bun kebab in your hand and you eat that bun kebab. When you eat that bun kebab, you get the energy. It's transferred into you. But that means the energy was first in the bread of the bun kebab. The bread is wheat. So that means the energy was in the plant. Have you seen wheat grow from the ground? Beautiful golden crops that come up. They have energy inside of them. And when that energy is put into a bag of flour, your parents buy it and take it home. We make some roti out of it. And now that energy is in this chapati. But that energy came from the gandum plant, from the wheat plant. The question for me now and for you is, where did the wheat plant get its energy from? Where did the wheat plant get its energy from? Anybody who's studied photosynthesis in middle school knows it came from the sun. The sun gave it energy. The sun is a big nuclear power plant. It is nuclear power. It is hydrogen fusion. It is splitting hydrogen atoms every second and millisecond and shooting out energy through our solar system. In that situation, where did the energy in the sun come from? So the energy in your food came from the wheat plant. The energy in the wheat plant came from the sun. The energy in the sun came from the hydrogen fusion. What does that mean? Have you seen hydrogen? No, probably not. I haven't seen it either. It's very microscopic. But in your books, they draw it like a round circle and they put an H in it. It is basically a proton. Have you heard of the word proton? Yes, proton. Proton is a small particle that makes atom. And this has energy. If you can split it, if you can break it, the energy comes out. And how do you break it? That's what the nuclear power plant does. That's what those dangerous bombs that they made. Have you heard of the nuclear bomb, the hydrogen bomb? Some country bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Have you heard of that too? Yes, that was basically taking atoms and splitting them. So here is an atom. Somehow it has energy inside of it. And this energy, if you split it, the energy is released. So now the question is, where did the energy come from in the hydrogen atom? Because the hydrogen atom is physical and chemical. The energy here was chemical. It came from somewhere we don't know. This is where science stops. Now science doesn't know. We don't know where the energy came from. Did you know that you are made of elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen? And do you know where that came from? It came from exploding stars. When stars were made and they exploded, the energy was released, and that energy turned into chemicals, and that became atoms, and that became elements of the universe. So, who put the first energy into the first particle? This is the question. And this is not physical now. This is metaphysical. This means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the first energy, and the first energy was not hydrogen. It was not proton. It was not chemical. It had to be metaphysical. And that metaphysical energy became physical energy. What is in the metaphysical world, we call the world of qidam in Arabic. And what is in the physical world, we call the world of hudus in Arabic. Qidam, hudus. If you want English spelling, spell it like QIDM, qidam. And hudus like HUDOOS, hudus. And now what you have is two different realities, the metaphysical and the physical. If you take that energy, because the question is, what energy was used to make the first particle? Was it Allah? Because if it is Allah, then we're saying that Allah is the energy that became this particle. Then we're saying that everything that is solid is Allah. And that becomes shirk. You see, it can't be Allah. Allah is not something that's going to become physical. That means that Allah is going to create an energy that will become physical. Am I getting too scientific and philosophical? Is it okay? We'll try to lighten it up a bit. But this means that, but you can always ask questions afterwards. But it's important, you know. It's important because when we're talking about Vilayat Takwini, I don't want to just talk about simple stories. I want you to understand what this is. I want you to understand how science has shown to us there is a physical reality, but it fails when it comes to the metaphysical, and they don't have answers, and they don't know what to say. And so now what happens is they try to come up with means. Did you know that it has been known that Amir al-Mu'mineen went from Medina to Khaybar in one step? Do you know that? He went from Medina to Khaybar in one step. He took one step, and the next step, he was in Khaybar. And this is called Tahiyul Arz. Tahiyul Arz means that you are traversing the earth. Do you know what it is said in explanation of how this happened? Because this is what I would think, and this is what your superpower, you know, nowadays everyone's into comic characters, right, and superpowers. It's a superpower generation, right? This generation is preparing for our Imam. The ashab of our Imam will have some amazing powers. And so therefore, you are being mentally prepared for it in a way. I'm not saying that you should pursue and waste time with comic characters. You should probably pursue and use that time to actually gain the powers yourself, not to watch somebody doing it on a television screen. Because the followers of our Imam, you know, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, one who truly is my follower, my Shia, he can look at a mountain and tell the mountain to move, and the mountain will move. Can you imagine making a mountain move just with your voice? Move. That's all you have to say. So what happens is, in this world of powers, how do you think Amir al-Mu'mineen goes from point A to point B? If you were to look at these superpower people nowadays, you would say it's probably that fast guy, right? There's a fast guy, some guy who runs really fast. So you would say he can probably go from Medina to Khaybar really fast. And he would just, you know, boom, just speed over there. And then there's probably some superpower person with teleport. They can just pop up here and pop up there. Dimensional travel. So you might think that maybe Amir al-Mu'mineen sped there really quickly, or he teleported from here to there. But you know what is said about it by our ulama? It is said that the earth folded for him. The earth folded. That means you want to get from here to here. So you take one step, the earth folds for you, you come here, the earth straightens out again, and now you're over there. Can you imagine all the land, the kilometers between Medina and Khaybar just folding up? And then him taking one step. It doesn't make sense. But do you know that right now in physics, I was listening to an interview of a physicist, and they asked him, is it possible to do, what do they call it? Warp speed travel. Have you heard of science fiction warp speed travel? The idea of warp speed travel is that, you know, you can go through galaxies and light years in seconds by traveling super fast. And so they asked that physicist, they said, you know, so is that possible right now? And the physicist said, on paper, it is possible to have warp speed travel. On paper. He said, I can do the calculations to show you that it is absolutely possible, but we need the right fuel and the right material for the ship and the material that it's not going to break at such high speeds. So then the physicist says, but the way it's done is the space will fold. He says dark matter will fold. That means they have physics theories right now and formulas proving that you can fold space, and then you can move from one galaxy to another in one instant. And that is what Amir al-Mu'mineen, that is what is happening for him when he's moving from Medina to Khaybar. The earth is folding. Do you see this kind of power? Do you see what kind of control this is? This is control over time and space itself. Because not only do you have to fold the space, but what about all the animals that were in between? Do you think there were not camels in the desert between Medina and Khaybar? Maybe some coyotes, maybe some cactus, maybe some Bedouins, maybe some tents set up, maybe some families living there. What's going to happen to them when you do this? Have you seen the cartoon when something lands on the object and the dog or the cat, their face becomes flat? No, you've never seen a I don't know what they watch nowadays. When we were kids, there were cartoons and something lands on Goofy, some dog, and the dog becomes flat. Are you thinking that, everybody in between Medina and Khaybar will be flattened so Amir al-Mu'mineen can go there and then it will straighten out? This is telling you that not only can he fold the earth, he can fold the earth in a way that no one is harmed in between, no one's actions stop. If they are in Salah, they are still in Salah. If they are walking, they are still walking. This is mind-boggling power and control. How do we even fathom this? What does this even mean? Do you know that with one finger someone moved the sun? Have you heard that before? No? You have not. Okay, this means that your parents have, but it hasn't been transferred to you. There is a famous incident, and in this incident, Amir al-Mu'mineen as-salatu was-salam alayh is sitting there. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And the holy messenger's holy head is upon the holy lap of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and he is resting. And as he is resting, it is said that wahi is coming to Amir al-Mu'mineen. His face, his forehead would brighten with even, of course it was always bright, but it would become a little brighter at that time, it is said, when the wahi was coming. Otherwise the nur from him was such that, it is said that if he was in a dark room, you did not need light because his nur emanated. That was because he was a combination of metaphysical and physical as well, but much more than us, much more metaphysical than us, much more nur. And so what happens is, as the wahi is coming, Amir al-Mu'mineen notices that it's time for prayer. And as he notices it's time for prayer, Amir al-Mu'mineen does not disturb the Holy Messenger and he prays. And when he finishes his prayer, he prays while sitting. He does not move. And then at that point, what happens is the Holy Messenger opens up his eyes and says, "Oh Ali, I noticed that the sun is about to go down. Did you do your prayer?" He says, "Yes, I already did." He says, "Can you turn the sun back now?" It is said that Amir al-Mu'mineen points his hand at the sun, and as he points his hand, the sun starts to go back from setting towards midday, and as it comes back to midday, then he has reversed it. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen prays 2 rak'ah namaz after that. The Holy Messenger told him to do it, so he did it. But later on, many years later perhaps, or months later, Hazrat Salman al-Muhammadi asks Amir al-Mu'mineen and says, that day when you moved the sun, why did you pray after? Because I thought that you had prayed while you were sitting down. If you had already prayed, if you pray Zohar, you don't pray Zohar again. If you pray Asr, you don't pray Asr again. If you have prayed while you were sitting down, why are you praying again? And he says that when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, when he was arguing with, or when he was debating with Nimrud about Allah, then Nimrud says to Ibrahim, he says that, first Hazrat Ibrahim says to Nimrud, you know what Nimrud is? The bad guy, the villain of Hazrat Ibrahim's time, the Firaun, right? Nimrod, he's called in English. So Hazrat Ibrahim says, "Oh Nimrud, my Lord is the one who can give life to death and death to life." So Nimrud looks at Hazrat Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim, and says that, "So can I." And he says, "Look, this one is supposed to live, I'll have him killed." And he has him killed. And he says, "This one was supposed to die because I had sentenced him to death. I will not let him die. I have forgiven him." He says, "I can also change life to death and death to life." Then Hazrat Ibrahim looks at him and says, "Okay, but my Lord can cause the sun to rise from the east and set in the west. If you are my Lord, then make it go in the opposite way." And then Nimrud doesn't know what to say because he can't move the sun. He can only get people killed. So Nimrud stays quiet. He loses the debate. And at that time, Amir al-Mu'mineen says to Salman that because Ibrahim had said that, and in the Quran is the verse that says this, people who read the Quran would think that Ali has moved the sun in reverse, so therefore he must be the Lord of Ibrahim, because he caused the sun to move backward. That was the challenge that Ibrahim gave to Nimrud, move the sun back. Ali fulfills this challenge. Ibrahim says, "It is my Lord that can do this." But now it is Ali that is doing this. And Ali does not want them to think that, "Oh, I am the Lord of Ibrahim." So he says, "Oh Salman, that is why I did sajda shukr and 2 rakat namaz, to show the world that I, Ali, worship Allah. And He is the true Lord. He is the Lord of Ali. Ya Ali. He is the Lord of Ibrahim. Now, when you think about this for a moment, this is Vilayat Takwini, the sun. But you're not just doing that. Because when you move the sun back, do you know that your sun right now is moving at a speed of over 100,000 kilometers per hour? Over 100,000 kilometers per hour, your sun is moving. And your sun is moving like this. And as it's moving like this, it's circling around your galaxy. It completes a circle of your galaxy every 5 million years. Every 5 million years. In the center of your galaxy. Do you know the name of your galaxy? Milky Way? Very good. That's what they called it. We will ask Maulana what the real name is. But they called it Milky Way. That's fine for now. That's fine for now. After at Zuhur, that's one question. Maulana, tell me the real name of our solar system. Tell me the real name of the Milky Way. Tell me the real name of this star. Tell me the real name of our sun. Tell me the real name of our moon. And as the sun is orbiting, the sun is spiraling, the planets are like a tail behind the sun. You know how in diagram it looks like they're all on the same level? They're not all on the same level. Your sun is speeding through and the stars are following behind it. It's like they're doing tawaf. And as they are doing it, so your sun is doing tawaf of the center of the Milky Way. Your planets are doing tawaf of the sun, and the moon is doing tawaf of the planets. And each planet has many moons, and some planets have some moons, and our planet has one moon. Now, everything is moving in sync. That means as the sun moves, the planets move. As the planets move, the moons move. And as your solar system moves, there's another solar system coming behind. And as that one moves, there's another solar system coming behind. And you have in your galaxy over 1 million of these solar systems. And each solar system is in correspondence with the other. It's all in a line. Have you been to Karbala and Arbaeen? Have you seen the Russia at there? Have you seen how it's managed? Have you seen how at Shab-e Ashur, how one kafla comes in and does matam, then the next one comes in and does matam, the next one, and you can't disrupt that. You have to get the license to be able to do this because there is an order. You can't take too long, otherwise the person behind you is going to be affected. So everything needs to be in harmony and synchronicity. Now, your galaxies are like this as well. That means moving one object in space can cause catastrophe. It could cause a destruction of a solar system. It could cause destruction of a galaxy. When Amirul Mu'mineen is moving the sun, he is not just moving the sun. Because when the sun moves back, the earth moves back. When the earth moves back, the moon moves back. When the moon moves back, every other planet is moving back. When every other planet is moving back, every other solar system is moving back. When every other solar system is moving back, the whole galaxy is going in reverse. When the whole galaxy is going in reverse, 1 million, now we've discovered about 1 trillion galaxies in our known universe. 1 trillion galaxies with every particle is affected. You're affecting every atom in existence. Are you feeling that might and power? Are you comprehending how much precision and control you need to be able to do this without actually disrupting life, without causing anybody? No one fell down on the floor when that happened. Right? No ant fell off the mountain. No one didn't get their food that they were supposed to get that day. Everything went perfectly according to plan. This is power. This is control. This is Vilayat Takwini. It's not easy. The famous incident where, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Just the last sentence, and then we'll go into Masahib. And he's looking at a man who he's giving a speech, and a man stands up and insults Imam Hassan. And insults him. When he insults him, Imam Hassan looks at him and says, "When did we allow women into this group and this gathering?" That's all he says. When did we allow women into this gathering? And it was a man. As soon as Imam Hassan says this, his gender changes. Now that you're in the day of gender changing, the male form turns into a female form in 1 instant. In 1 instant. This is Vilayat Takwini. This is power and authority. This is control over atoms of existence. Today, we are here to talk about, there was a Safir of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein sent his Safir, his ambassador, his messenger, the one who would take allegiance on his behalf, and his name is Muslim. And Muslim is the son of Aqil. And Aqil is the son of Abu Talib. Aqil is the brother of Ali. And Muslim is the nephew of Ali. And when Hazrat Muslim goes at that time, he takes with him a son and a daughter. Sorry, two sons. One is named Muhammad and one is named Ibrahim. In Medina, when they are getting ready to go, Hazrat Muslim is going as ambassador to Imam Hussein. Hazrat Muhammad and Hazrat Ibrahim are going as ambassadors to the children of Imam Hussein. Ambassadors to Bibi Sakina. Ambassadors to Shahzada Ali Asghar. It is said that when the mother was preparing the children to leave from Medina, she was getting them ready. So you comb the children's hair, you put on their clothes, you get them ready. One is 8 years old, Hazrat Muhammad. One is 7 years old, Hazrat Ibrahim, Ibn Muslim. And as she gets them ready, the mother says to the children that you are going with your father. I will not see you for some time, but I will join you soon. And she says, and who is their mother? Their mother is the sister of Maulana Abbas. And she is known as Ruqayya. And Bibi Ruqayya, the sister of Maulana Abbas, is getting her children ready. So these are the bhanjas of Maulana Abbas. And as she gets them ready, she says that, you know, you are so young and you have never eaten on your own. I have always fed you. You've never gotten ready on your own. I have always put on your clothes. You've never combed your own hair. I have always combed your hair. She says that don't bother your father too much because inshallah I will see you. Eid is coming up and inshallah I will see you. And at that time, I will take care of you. Do not bother your father. He will be very busy. And they say, no, Mama, we will not bother our father. I know how busy they will be. And it is said that when Hazrat Muslim, their father, reaches Kufa, then there comes a point where life for him becomes very threatened, and the army of Ibn Ziyad, there's a lot of voices. It's kind of I'm not able to speak. Agar thodi si आवाज कम कर लेंगे, मसाइब जो है वो मुझे भी सुनाई देंगे फिर. But that happens when you recite Masaib in English. And so then what happens is we see that Hazrat Muslim, everybody paid allegiance to him. Everybody did. And the sons were safe and protected. But when Ibn Ziyad and his evil army took over Kufa, they started to kill all the supporters of Hazrat Muslim. His two children were not safe anymore. They went into hiding. Hazrat Muslim put them into hiding, and there was somebody who supported them, and his name was Muhammad ibn Kathir. And they put him, first the children were hid in Hazrat Hani's house. But Hazrat Hani was captured by Ibn Ziyad and he was martyred. Then the two children were shifted to Muhammad ibn Kathir's house. But he was also captured and he was martyred. Then they were shifted to a neighbor's house, the neighbor of Muhammad ibn Kathir. At that time, it looked like soon the soldiers were going to raid that house as well to find the two children of Hazrat Muslim. And it is said that at that time, one of the people, they took the two children and took them outside and they said that we will try and get you out of the city. And when they went out of the city, they said there is a caravan up ahead. And this caravan that is up ahead is going to go to Medina. So you two should run and catch that caravan. It will take you to Medina. If you stay in Kufa, Ibn Ziyad's soldiers will capture you and they will try to murder you. So it is said that 8-year-old Muhammad and 7-year-old Ibrahim, they ran after the caravan, but the caravan was going too fast. They were not able to catch up to it. They got tired. They sat down. And as they came out of breath, it started to become dark. And as it became dark, they went to hide under the tree. And as they hid under the tree, the younger brother said to the older brother that, what will we do now? He said, we will have to wait until sunrise. They were hiding there, but the evil army of Ibn Ziyad was looking for the children inside and outside the city. Their father had already been killed and the children did not know. Hazrat Muslim had been martyred and his head had already been hung on the gate of Kufa, but the children had not seen it. And it is said that as one group of army, one battalion passed by the tree where they were hiding, someone heard them and they captured them. And then they took them to the jail and they put them in the jail. It is said they stayed in the jail for a few days. We do not really know exactly how long for. But what happened was they stayed in the jail, and then at one point there was a jailman named Mashkur. And Mashkur was kinder than the other jailmen. He did not shout at them. He did not beat them. He only gave them food and water and always left them alone. The younger brother said to the older brother that, look, this jailman Mashkur is coming and he seems to be a nice person. Maybe we can ask him and maybe he will tell us where our father is, because we have not seen our father in many days. It is said that Mashkur comes, and when Mashkur comes, the older brother, he stands up and he says, I will ask him. He looks at Mashkur and says salam to him, and Mashkur says, wa alaikum salam. He says, do you know who Muhammad is? And he says, of course, that is my prophet. My life be sacrificed for him. He says, do you know who Ali is? And he says, of course I know Ali. I am a great lover of him. He is my imam. He says, do you know Aqil? He says, yes, I know Aqil. He says, do you know Aqil has a son whose name is Muslim? He says, yes, but why are you asking me these things? They say, we are the sons of Muslim ibn Aqil. It is said that Mashkur at that time, he hugs them and says, I am so sorry. I did not know that you were his children. I will get you out of here. Mashkur says that I saw in a dream the Holy Prophet last night, and he said to me, oh Mashkur, you are to be martyred soon. And because you are to be martyred soon, I did not understand, but now I understand why. If I can try and get you out of jail, Ibn Ziyad will kill me. He said, come. And he gets them out of jail and he gets them out of the city. He gives them his ring and says, take this ring. He says, I have to stay to keep the guards away from you, but you go. If I could come with you, I would. But take my ring, and there is a village just 1 kilometer north of here, and there my brother is the governor, and if you give him this ring, he will protect you. It is said the two children started to go, but then they got scared and they went and hid in a tree and they waited till morning. It is said that when morning came, a woman came to the river to take water, and when she looked in the river, she saw two beautiful faces in the reflection of the river. And when she looked up into the tree, she saw two young beautiful princes hiding on a branch, and she said, why are you up there? Come here. They said that we will not come to you because wherever we go, we get taken into the prison and then we are beaten. And she says, no, nothing like that will happen. Who are you? And she says, you must be the children of Muslim. My mistress is a mu'min, and she will take care of you. It is said that woman convinces them and takes them to that home. When the lady of the house sees those two children, she is a lover of the Ahlulbait, and she takes those two children and hides them in a room, and she says, my husband's name is Haris, and Haris is a very bad man, and he is looking for you right now for that reward. I will hide you in this room. It is said the two children fall asleep in the room, and when they fall asleep, they both see their father in their dream. And when they see their father has been wounded, and their father is bleeding, and their father is holding his arms out, and their father is saying, my sons, come to me, I am waiting for you. Then suddenly the young one, Ibrahim, wakes up and he says, Baba, very loud. And when he says it, Haris, the Mal'oon, is in the house, and he hears that cry. It is said that he breaks the door open, and when he breaks the door open, he finds those two children, and when he finds them, he says that these are the two I was looking for, he grabs them by the hair. And when he grabs them by the hair, he drags them to the riverside. And when he takes them to the riverside, he says, which of you shall I martyr first? Who shall I behead? And the younger brother comes in front of the sword and says, me first. My father has said that a younger brother is like the son and the older brother is like the father. Do not martyr my older brother in front of me. And then the older brother comes forward and says, no, because I am like the father, do not martyr the son before the father. It is said that Mal'un puts both of them one on top of each other, and it is said that then he beheads them and he takes the heads into the courts of Ibn Ziyad, and those two bodies he throws them into the river. When the elder brother's body is thrown into the river, it is said it waits for the younger brother's body, and then embracing in each other's arms as they go down the river, it is said there is a lady who is Bibi Zahra, and she is crying for the sons of Muslim and saying, come into my embrace. فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ لَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. ماتم حسین.
آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا کربل کی کہانی کا، لوگوں یہ جنازہ ہے اسلام کے بانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا کربل کی کہانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل زینب نے کہا بابا کربل میں چلانا، زینب نے کہا بابا کربل میں چلانا، منظر میں دکھاؤں گی اکبر کی جوانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، کٹ جائیں گے بازو بھی عباس با وفا کے، کٹ جائیں گے بازو بھی عباس با وفا کے، تیروں سے ہوگا چھلنی مشکی زو پانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، یہ ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، بکھرے گا کربلا میں قاسم کے سر کا صحرا، بکھرے گا کربلا میں قاسم کے سر کا صحرا، خوشیاں سمیٹ لے گا عالم و ویرانی کا، آغاز ہو رہا ہے کربل کی کہانی کا، یا حسین 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 یا حسین
میرا نانا نبی، میری ماں سیدہ، میرا بابا علی، میرا بھائی حسن، ہم ہی ہیں پنجتن. میری کیا ہے خطا، میری کیا ہے خطا، میری کیا ہے خطا، میری کیا ہے خطا. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا نبی کا نواسا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. کیا میں زہرا کا جایا نہیں ہوں، کیا میں زہرا کا جایا نہیں ہوں، کیا میں زہرا کا جایا نہیں ہوں، کیا نبی کا نواسا نہیں ہوں. میرا نانا نے کلمہ سکھایا اور قرآن تم کو سنایا. میرے نانا نے کلمہ سکھایا اور قرآن تم کو سنایا. کیا میں نانا کا سایہ نہیں ہوں، کیا میں نانا کا سایہ نہیں ہوں، کیا میں نانا کا سایہ نہیں ہوں، کیا نبی کا نواسا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. مجھ کے کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. وہ مدینہ جہاں میرے گھر ہے اور مسجد میں اس گھر کا در ہے. وہ مدینہ جہاں میرا گھر ہے اور مسجد میں اس گھر کا در ہے. کیا میں اس گھر میں کھیلا نہیں ہوں، کیا میں اس گھر میں کھیلا نہیں ہوں، کیا میں اس گھر میں کھیلا نہیں ہوں، کیا نبی کا نواسا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا نہیں. چکیاں پیس کر ماں نے پالا، مجھ کو نانا نے جھولا جھولایا. چکیاں پیس کر میں نے پالا، مجھ کو نانا نے جھولا جھولایا. اپنا بچپن میں بھولا نہیں ہوں، اپنا بچپن میں بھولا نہیں ہوں، اپنا بچپن میں بھولا نہیں ہوں، کیا نبی کا نواسا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. مجھ پہ کیوں بند کرتے ہو پانی، کیا محمد کا پیارا نہیں ہوں. یا حسین، 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 یا حسین.
متوجہ زیارت. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيعين، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليكم جميعا شهداء دشت كربلاء، خصوصا سيدي ومولاي يا أبو الفضل العباس يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبو الحسن يا علي يا ابن موسى الرضا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، علمان علمان علمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا مظهر الإيمان. السلام عليك يا إمام زمانه، هذا أجل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. سيد وبدون دعاء إمام زمانه.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم خل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه وزكاة وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.